A lot of untested powerlifters are very upset with Colton Engelre right now, who many people consider as the strongest man on the planet. Why? Well, on February the 14th, we were going to have a hyped battle between John Haack and Colton Engelre. John Haack has been seen as the GOAT on the untested side for the last 5+ years. He has just been pound for pound so strong compared to the rest of the untested side. However, in the last year and a half, Colton Engelre, who is 24, maybe 25 right now, he is young. However, he has kind of burst onto the scene and pound for pound is doing crazy stuff, and in terms of absolute strength is doing crazy stuff. Colton has the biggest raw with reps total in powerlifting. He has locked out 500 kilograms in competition and yeah, has just shown crazy strength. Many people call him the world's strongest man. And we were going to see a battle hosted by ABS Powerlifting on February the 14th. Who could put up the highest dots, John Haack or Colton Engelre? Dots is a formula, a pound for pound formula to compare between the two. So this was going to be very exciting. Everyone was looking forward to this event. Many people were saying that this was going to be the biggest event in powerlifting. However, Colton Engelre, it was recently announced that he pulled out of the event. Why? Well, he is going to do a meet in Siberia at roughly the same time in, I believe, March 2026. And so he said that he doesn't want to do the ABS anymore. Now, before I get into the details, I don't know much about the untested side of powerlifting. To be honest, I don't know much about the tested side of powerlifting. I only got into kind of IPF powerlifting about 2 years ago. So I'm definitely going to make mistakes in this video. I messaged before this video Jay, who is the founder of ABS Powerlifting, who was hosting the event, and so I know a little bit from him, but like I said, I'm going to make mistakes in this video, so I apologize. But as far as I know, ABS Powerlifting and kind of the powerlifting community in general was upset with Colton. Why? Well, first of all, because it was going to be such a big event. People were just looking forward to it a lot, and so he let down quite a few top powerlifters. But the other reason why people were upset, especially ABS, was because they had booked the venue, they had signed the contract. Colton had signed the contract and said he would go to the event. They had sold tickets already. They had already started the process of promoting the event. And then finally, Colton, after a lot of work, he pulled out of the event. And the issue was that Colton had obviously been in contact with the Siberian Federation, trying to kind of organize him going to Siberia. And apparently, a couple of weeks ago, maybe even more, maybe even a couple of months ago, he had confirmed that he would compete at the Siberian event. So Colton knew that he was not going to do the ABS and was going to do the Siberian event. However, it took him a long time to actually tell ABS, and throughout that time, ABS was working. And so ABS was upset that Colton hadn't given them a hint that he wasn't going to turn up and was going to do the Siberian meet instead. So this upset ABS a lot. What do I think? Well, Colton's reasoning for not going to the event and kind of breaking the contract was because he was going to where there was more money. He said that he was going to be paid 5 times more to compete in Russia compared to competing in the ABS. And I know that he was getting £5,000 just to show up at the ABS meet. And so the Russian host must have been paying him about £25,000 at least to go to the event. So that's a big paycheck. And so I definitely see Colton's point of view. Colton is a full-time powerlifter / powerlifting coach. He needs to make money. He needs to provide for his family, and that was his reasoning. Colton has already said he doesn't really care about pound-for-pound battles. He only cares about absolute strength, and he cares about providing for his family financially. And so financially, it just made more sense for him to go to Russia. And I do understand he may be only at his peak for a short time, and so he needs to take the financial opportunities that he can get. However, as long as I've got the full story correct, Colton should have probably said long before that he was planning on not doing the ABS meet, or at least explaining to ABS that he was considering not doing the ABS meet, because a lot of work went into the meet. Also, long term, I don't think it's good for Colton's career. First of all, because he let down a lot of fans, and there's not that many powerlifting fans in general. And so, in general, you don't really want to lose fans in powerlifting. And so, yeah, I don't think it was the wisest decision. Plus, ABS has already said that they don't want to work with Colton again. And I do think that a lot of other powerlifting federations are going to now think, I don't want to have Colton competing, because he has a tendency to kind of mess around. And these federations may not want to be treated in this way. And if this reaction happens from other federations, then it means that his kind of price to compete is going to go down. Because whereas before there may have been 20 different meets which were kind of bargaining to get Colton at their meet, now maybe there will be 5 different meets competing against each other to see who can get Colton at their meet. And therefore, Colton's kind of price to show up is going to be less, because there's less competition to get him at their meet. And so, in the long term, I don't think that it was a wise decision for Colton to not show up and kind of mess around the ABS. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. Tell me what you think down below. Like I said, I do see where Colton is coming from. A lot of people were upset that he broke the contract with ABS. However, at the end of the day, he may need to just go where the money is, which is fair enough. But I do think he should have contacted ABS a lot sooner. What do you guys think? Do you think this is good or bad for Colton's career? But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. 1 second before you leave, I just wanted to say, because I've never spoken about Colton on this channel, and I really wanted to express, I really respect Colton as a powerlifter. What he's doing in the sport is insane. His absolute strength, especially at his body weight, has never been seen before. He's got such a crazy future. Many people say he's the world's strongest man. So yeah, I just wanted to express that, because I didn't want the first time of me talking about him to be on a completely bad note. I don't think that this issue with ABS is going to be something that completely affects his career. He's still gonna do meets and go crazy. I just don't think it was a completely wise or kind of kind decision. But overall, Colton's still insane.